Hey friends, welcome to Aromatic Chat, the podcast that introduces you to registered, clinical, and certified aromatherapists around the world. Aromatic Chat is produced by Lemon Balm Coaching, personal coaching for one-on-one clients and success coaching for aromatherapy school students. If you're struggling with a lackluster life and you want to trade that in for a life that shines, you'll want to connect with Lemon Balm Coaching. Just click on the link in the show notes to schedule your free discovery call. I'm the host of Aromatic Chat, Melissa, your master transformational coach and registered aromatherapist. This year, I'm really focusing on building the social proof for Aromatic Chat. Would you take just 1 minute to leave a review on Apple Podcast? It's so easy. And your review makes it possible for others to find the podcast and connect with the aromatherapist that aligns with them and their needs. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. I want to remind you that you can now buy me a coffee. This is a simple, easy way for you to support the mission here at Aromatic Chat of connecting aromatherapists with the people that need them. If you're listening to an episode and you find yourself thinking, wow, this is amazing, I wish there was a way I could support Melissa and her mission, you can by visiting the link in the show notes. Or you can go to buymeacoffee.com/aromatic-chat. And actually, you'd be buying me a tea or a frappe because I'm not a coffee drinker. Welcome to episode number 53, Aromatic Chat with Liz Fulcher of the Aromatic Wisdom Institute and podcast. It is so great to get to chat with another podcaster who understands the ins and the outs, the ups and the downs, and the struggle to keep it going and keep it real. I cannot wait for you to join in on all of our laughter, get to know this incredible human, and learn about all the things she's doing in the aromatic world. So, let's get started.
Listen to some very good interviewers, and you are one of them, and other people who talk more than their guests. So,
for me, keeping my mission, my podcast mission front and center is the important thing, because my mission is to connect you with the people who need you.
Beautiful.
It's not about me.
Yeah.
I'm just providing the opportunity for you to come on and share what you're doing in the world so that people can find you.
What a gift. You are adorable. Look at you with your chiseled cheekbones and your cute purple hair.
Thank you. It's makeup. No.
Well, I speak Italian, and in Italian, the word trucco, it means trick. You want to pull a trucco on somebody, but trucco is also the word for makeup.
Oh, isn't that interesting? I don't wear a lot of makeup. No, this is actually my cheekbones, but I think it's the lighting that really makes them look much more chiseled.
Well, you look happy to be here, and that makes me happy.
Oh, I am happy to be here. I mean, when I was in school at American College of Healthcare Sciences, they told us, go find aromatherapy podcasts and listen. There weren't a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
But I found yours, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Okay, she's actually trying to educate people through her podcast. That's really cool. I thought that was really neat. But find an aromatherapy podcast.
I know.
I find that most people are wanting to tell their story.
Yeah.
Because they're all so unique. Most people want to share their journey, how they got here.
Well, because we're also passionate about this topic, and everyone comes at it from a different place, from a different perspective. And so, we want to share it because it's kind of important to us.
It is. And the story is what connects.
Mm-hmm. So true.
I'm so glad you're here, a veteran podcaster in the aromatherapy arena.
I've always enjoyed listening to talk. I will tell you that, start right off the bat, just going deep. I'm very sensitive, and I'm very easily emotionally triggered by music. So I've tended to kind of listen to audiobooks, listen to talk radio. And so when podcasting came on the forefront, I was thrilled.
Yeah.
And I started listening to a guy called Cliff, who had a show called The Podcast Answer Man or something. So I just started listening to him, and it was so interesting. And then I thought, what else is out there? So I started binging on podcasts. And that's when I thought, well, why don't I just do this? And I literally just taught myself. This was in 2014. So I just step by step started putting things in place and did massive edits initially, and still pretty much
Didn't
do.
we all?
I was just going to say, yeah, we all, overthinkers. And next thing I'm just doing it. And it was literally not a lark, but it was like, oh, this is fun. I'm kind of the queen of passing fancies. I've had very few guests, mostly because I just get on and talk about, I think because, Melissa, I like to educate. And that is what I was born to do. I love to share information. I love to impart knowledge.
All right, so we're going to hop right in, Liz.
Okay,
I'm
do it.
so glad that you agreed to come onto the podcast. A veteran podcaster coming onto my podcast just lights my heart up.
I am so excited to be here, Melissa. I've been really looking forward to this, to pick your brain about, do you have this problem with your microphones and podcasting? And I am so honored to be here. You've had some really incredible, all your guests have been incredible, but I feel like I've been in some pretty impressive company. So, and any chance I get to talk to them into a microphone, I'm happy. So thank you so much for having me here and thinking of me.
You're welcome. Talking about microphone issues. This is my third microphone that I have here now. Trying to find the right one, the right thing,
Audio Technica 2000, baby. That's what I use.
Well, I got the Yeti Blue. So far, this is the absolute best microphone I've had. I've tried, like I said, this is my third one. And the moment I plugged it in and figured out what all the buttons meant, it was great. So, yes, I do have all those same issues.
Yeah. No, only another podcaster could understand.
Yes. But we're not here to talk specifically about my podcast. We're here to talk about you. And I would love for you to just share your story. How did you get to where you are now? I know you and your husband, James, do distilling. You've got your own podcast. You're an amazing aromatherapist in your own right. So, how did you get here?
It's been circuitous, to say the least. It started in 1991. I was living and working in Rome, Italy, late 80s, early to mid 90s.
Oh, Liz, I just have to say that sounds terrible.
It was awful.
Oh, really. Awful.
I pushed through it, but
somehow.
Yeah, there are worse things. Although I will say, in all honesty, living in a big, hectic, chaotic city with two small children, and a husband, but it was very stressful, truthfully. I was working there when I had both my sons there. And when my second son was born, Gianluca, he was born, my sons are Davide and Gianluca. When he was born in May of 91, I went to a private clinic. I remember when he came out, they sort of whisked him off and they said, Signora, let's see, it was about half an hour later. They said, come on, we're going to clean him up and we're going to give him a massage. And I said, whoa. What do you mean give him a massage? This is not my first rodeo. What are we talking about? And they said, yeah, we're going to bathe him and then give him a massage. Come on, we'll teach you. And honestly, I was flabbergasted. I didn't know that babies could even be massaged. I think that's a spa thing for, rich ladies. So sure enough, they gave him a massage and they were using this oil. Melissa, it was amazing. It was golden and it was in an unmarked amber bottle. So there was no label. It smelled so good. So they massaged the baby with it. And I said, what is this? And they said, it's just, I think they said an oil that's good for the baby's skin. Well, it was infusion of calendula in olive oil, of course, olive oil, with just a drop of Roman chamomile. And they said it's good for the baby's skin and it will keep them very calm. And calendula, of course, is great for skin. And so after they taught me how to massage him, we did it every day. But I will tell you, Melissa, the nido, asilo nido means nursery. It literally means nest. And that's where they keep the babies. So they would massage all the babies. The moms would come in and massage the babies. It was the most peaceful place. So when it came time to leave, they said, take the bottle home, keep massaging Gianluca. And I did, but I said, but you've got to tell me more. So they told me what was in it and where I could get more information. So off I went to their recommended herboristeria, or like an herbalist. It's sort of a cross between a drugstore and an herb store or health food store. So I walked in and I said, I have to know about oli essenziali. And this woman became my teacher very informally. And I would come in and say, we have X problem. The kids can't sleep. Somebody's teething. We had lice at one point. And I always preface that story saying, My kids went to a really expensive private school. They were good people, we're clean people, but they got lice because apparently lice like clean hair. I did not buy any of the medications recommended for lice. And at that time, my repertoire of essential oils was I think I knew about 6 oils. So I used geranium and tea tree and rosemary. I think I made a concoction in olive oil, put it on both the boys' hair with shower cap. And for a weekend, they sat like that. And come Sunday night, I combed them out. Everything was in there was dead. Now, I will say, I do believe the olive oil suffocates the louse, but the essential oils also help kill them, but it also keeps the head from getting infection because they bite. Sorry, this is a really, hope no one's eating. Anyway. And I learned, in fact, and there was no internet back then.
Right.
I ran and grabbed the Encyclopedia Britannica and flipped to, L, and discovered that a knit, what they do is they attach to the scalp, or usually anywhere hair is on the body, they attach themselves and they anesthetize the area so you don't feel them. Well, in impoverished conditions where people have a head full of lice, they're called a nitwit because they literally become kind of dopey, kind of brain fog. So that was my little interesting little thing I got out of that. All the while they were growing up, my older son was 5. So both of my kids have grown up with aromatherapy with essential oils. So this went on for years until in the mid 90s, I moved to the States, I'd never heard the word aromatherapy. So at this point, I'm self-taught apart from help with the shopkeeper. When I came to the States, I learned this is a thing. Aromatherapy. People are using these oils for healing. So I immediately enrolled in a program with Manu de May at the New York School of Aromatherapy, which no longer exists, and got my first training. And then I started buying books the way a lot of us begin. When we jump in, we aromatherapists, man, we're all in. In 97, I started going to massage school. We had what do you call it? Like a module in massage program about aromatherapy.
Right.
A woman came in, I thought, let me see what she has to say. I think, see if she knows what I know. Me, all, 2 years of knowledge. Well, what this woman did was terrify the class because she just kept talking about the negative aspects of essential oils, and that everyone kind of walked away saying, I will never use that in my massage practice. So I went to the school director and I said, you need a different teacher. There's so many good things about essential oils, especially for a massage therapist to add into a massage practice. It just augments the body work tremendously. And what do you think she said to me, Melissa?
So when did you want to start?
Exactly. She said, exactly. Well, why don't you become the teacher? So I did. Boy, was I scared that first time I taught a class, but I really, found my feet very quickly. Loved to teach about essential oils in particular, watching the transformation on their faces. Became director of aromatherapy studies for this school called the Mountain Institute of Holistic Health. They did other things as well. Taught there for a long time. Well, in 99, I went to Purdue University to a summer program that was called the International Training in Essential Oils. That was a game changer because that was when I was first exposed to essential oil chemistry. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, all of a sudden, everything made sense. It was not just anecdotal. Lavender's relaxing, and it grows in the fields in France. In the night, jasmine blooms, all these romanticism that they put with the oils. All of a sudden, I understood, well, wait a minute, there's a chemical component called vinyl acetate. There's linalool, which is great for the skin. Okay. I was more in love than ever with oils after that because now I have it's science to back up what I intuitively know is good medicine. And let me tell you, Melissa, I also love the woo-woo aspect of essential oils, the energetics, the subtle, vibrational, unseen. But I feel as though they really work together. They are two sides of the same coin. You need to have the chemistry, you need to have the science to understand the safety as much as anything, shelf life and so forth. But, and then you can just play to your heart's content with the vibrational aspect of it. So that was in 99. That became, as I said, a game changer. And let's see, shortly after that, I started my own line of essential oils and began a massage practice, and then was teaching all that time. In 2010, the school where I was teaching was set to close. The woman was going to retire and decided to close the institute. And everyone was saying, where are you going to teach now? Because that was where I went. I had a business, like a commercial suite where I did massage with a classroom. So I just opened it up Aromatic Wisdom Institute. Now, my massage practice was called Body Wisdom. So I decided, well, this is kind of the other thing I do. I'll just call it Aromatic Wisdom. That's when Aromatic Wisdom was born, and the school and teaching and so forth. The deeper I got into my knowledge of essential oils, the deeper my teaching was, until finally I was teaching a 235-hour aromatherapy certification program. Did that. Man, you really got the whole story, huh? So fast forward to 2020. We all know what happened in 2020. Kind of everything, just my whole world shut down. I could not teach live classes because of the pandemic. I could not do my massage practice. All my sources of income stopped. All my source of activity, of friendship. I mean, I know I'm speaking for millions. It was fun for about 3 months.
Like on vacation.
Yeah, yay. Exactly. My husband was home. Hey, this isn't so bad, especially because I'm so grateful we didn't suffer and that no one we knew had COVID. Well, James goes back to work. And now here I'm sitting going, well, what am I going to do now? I had been starting to venture into online courses, but now I had to. The universe kicked my butt and said, this is what you wanted, girl, go for it. So I did start creating. I created Aromatic Wisdom Institute, but online with about 5 or 6 courses to really bring you up to today. So I'm finally ready after 2 years of learning how to operate a computer and put things online. My aromatherapy certification program, I won't be teaching live in the class anymore. It's going to be all online. Mm-hmm. I will have a component where I'm teaching live on Zoom, the way you and I are speaking right now, because I can't live without it. I must teach. But I really like the way the universe has brought me to this point, because I can still teach. I can still offer what I know. I can still do it live thanks to Zoom and all the other platforms. But I can do it at my jammies, and I can pace myself because I'm not 25 anymore. The journey has been so interesting and so circuitous, and I never knew what was coming next. I told my husband, I said, I feel as though I've been walking this yellow brick road. Maybe it's like the lavender brick road. There we go. Like the universe just keeps throwing out a brick. Okay, oh, I want to go over there. No, the universe says you got to go this way. And so I'm just kind of following my gut, following the things that fall in front of me. And it all seems to have worked out. I'm exhausted. It was a long trip.
It was a long trip, but it didn't happen in just 1 year. I mean, this is a lifetime of journey that's brought you to this place. But the one thing you did not mention is where does your podcast fit into your story?
In case it has escaped you, I do like to talk. And I always said God gave me, the love to speak and a voice that's not too bad. So I guess he wants me to say something. So, but the truth is that I love to listen to talk. I've always enjoyed audiobooks. I enjoy, talk radio, not so much the news. I just like listening to things. So around 2013, I discovered, there's this thing out there called a podcast. So I started listening. 2014, I found one that I loved. It was actually about podcasting. I just sort of had this thought, well, there is nobody out there doing this for aromatherapy. And it wasn't really even about I want to be the first. It wasn't even for business. It was literally, this sounds like it might be fun. So I bought a microphone. I had a laptop that already had the software on it. Taught myself 100%. I got on YouTube. I got on Udemy. I bought courses, how to podcast, and step by step joined groups where I bothered everybody with my questions. For me, podcasting is another way to teach. Mm-hmm. And I just love to teach. It comes from my heart. I love to teach about essential oils. So the other thing that I've learned, the older you get, the more you learn, which is all that wisdom they talk about. I've learned that it is really hard for me to be consistent. Mm-hmm. I get really excited. I podcast for a while and then I take a break. So I did declare in my podcast, apparently this is a thing I do. And I think part of it is that, and I'm sure you'll nod your head with this, Melissa. It's a commitment. Pod fade is very real. People who have a podcast and then never come back. I always come back, but there's generally a break in there because at a certain point, I just feel as though if I can't do it really great, I'm not going to do it at all. Or I'm building another course right now, so I don't have time. So I think that is unfortunate that I do that. It is what it is.
You know what though? People still listen.
They do.
They've subscribed. And when that next podcast episode comes out, they're notified.
Yes, that's exactly.
And then they tune in and listen again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I the people that listen to your podcast, I think are perfectly okay with your pattern.
I think so too. I mean, I've had people ask, can you do it more consistently? If I could, I would, sweetheart. If I could, be a size 2, I would, but we do what we do.
Would I though? I think about that
Yeah.
sometimes. I don't
What a
know.
commitment. Yeah. But I really do enjoy it. And then the more I listen to other people's podcasts, I have a very dear friend who started a podcast. And what I was going to say is there are a number of essential oil podcasts out there, and they're specific to essential oils. And most of those have a very strong commercial element where their objective is actually to sell a product. Mine is just to, in fact, my sons are always saying, Mom, you got to monetize that thing. And I don't. I just love reaching people. So
I'm with you though. I'm so with you. The whole monetize every part of your life sounds just so stressful to me. I just want to be here and serve. And if people happen to find what I do as a result of being here and serving,
mhm.
then I would love to talk with them. But otherwise, I just want to be here and serve. I want to be here and connect people. I don't really care to monetize every part of my life.
Yeah. I do have a place on the podcast where if people like what they hear, or they want to support the podcast, because it takes time. It takes my
Right.
resources and equipment, electricity, whatever. And mostly it takes me a lot of time to research. People can buy me a coffee. The minimum's like $5. And I just last week, somebody bought me a coffee, and I'm always so thrilled when that happens. So it's kind of like a tip jar. It's there. So you
Yeah.
may want to
Yeah,
consider
that's a
something.
great idea. I like that idea
Yeah.
more than here's a product that I'm selling you today. Yeah.
Well, what you're doing is perfect the way it is. So just
Well, thank you so much.
keep serving our community this way.
That's what I'm trying to do, connecting people. That's kind of what I do. So you're mostly teaching. Are you still practicing aromatherapy, like actively
I am.
practicing with clients?
It's interesting because it's sort of by default through my massage practice. That was the other thing. When I stopped massaging, I noticed that I wasn't connected with my oils as much. Now, I don't serve my community in that way. So to answer your question, I practice aromatherapy with myself, with my family,
And with your
with
massage.
friends and my kids and my massage clients.
Okay.
And it's usually very kind of quick. You've got a spasm, hang on, and I'll go make a blend. I no longer, there was a time I had an essential oil company and I sold blends, I sold individual oils. It was so not who I am. It really wasn't. I just didn't care for manufacturing. I love making it. I just don't want to make it on demand.
But I know you also distill.
Oh, yes. So thank you. Going back to you, because we kind of got away from that. So in this journey up to this year,
Because I'm sorry, your husband owns Copper Stills, right? You guys own
certainly does,
the
copperstills.com.
company.
James
Okay.
Fulcher. So that's thanks to me. So in 2013, I wanted to learn about hydrosols. I've always been intrigued with this aromatic water, which is the water portion of a plant distillation. Had been using them, really didn't know what I was doing. A lot like a lot of us. So I thought I'm going to fly out to Spokane, Washington and learn from Annie Harmon. And I took her course, Harvest of Hydrosols. At that time, it was fabulous because it was at her home, in her personal garden. We had food catered. She has since changed the format and she does it in an incredible place. Sometimes things in the beginning are so fabulous because they're very small scale and cozy. Went there to learn about hydrosols, and really I learned a lot about hydrosols, but I didn't learn about what they do. I learned how to make them, but I had such a great time. So I came home and all I talked about was that class for a year. It was 2013, 2014. I said to my husband, come on, you're going to come with me. You're going to learn to distill. He said, okay. So out we went to Washington. I took the class again. He took it with me. He took to it like a duck to water. The following year, I went out to study with Annie again in an advanced hydrosol class, a distillation class. And it was at that point she owned Copper Stills, but Annie was more interested in research and in teaching, and she didn't want to sell stills anymore. So she said, Liz, would you like to buy the company? That's a super short version. And I said, oh, that's what I need. But I said, I bet my husband would like that. So James and I talked about it and decided it would be a really good thing for him. And he is so good at it. So much better than I would have been, I think. And I love that we do this together, Melissa, because I always say James sells the equipment that makes those products that we love and use and work with. So it really is, he and I are sort of like the complete package.
That's beautiful.
So anyway, we do distill primarily in the summer, although we could distill in the winter, but I live in Pennsylvania and it would have to be conifers and dried plants. We do it a lot in the summer. We use everything that we distill. We don't sell it. It's nothing commercial. That's why I call myself a back porch distiller. Well, there's a reason there's a lot of people who are falling in love with it. The reason I think why people are so into hydrosols right now is because, well, first of all, people are aware they exist. They used to be thrown away as the byproduct. Now people are realizing, whoa, wait, there's this whole second product that comes from the distillation of a plant, and it has properties the essential oils don't even have. When you've got this plant, the steam goes up through it, everything comes over into the funnel. You've got your water, you've got your oil, you've got polarity, so they separate, and that's why they're separate. But for example, the plant acids do not go into the essential oils. They just don't. They're attracted to the water. And the plant acids are what are so good for the skin. And that is why hydrosols are so skin friendly, because of the plant acids. Essential oils can be great for the skin in a different way. But so I think people are discovering that there is this product that they can use safely with their little babies, with their kitty cats. They can drink it. They can use. I have a student who has a bird that has anxiety. I think she's a parakeet. And she will actually spray neroli around her cage to help her bird relax.
That's really beautiful.
Yes. When she told me that, I was so excited. I love when my students share things, because they will often use hydrosols in a way that I haven't yet.
Right.
And they have tons of applications. They're safe for, as I said, all the group that we have to be careful with essential oils.
Right. You can use hydrosols.
Sensitized. Yeah. And it's a more sustainable, Kelly would be proud of me, Kelly Ablar, but it's a more sustainable plant medicine, because it's water, and a little bit can go a long way. I will try whenever I can now to use a hydrosol first, and then see if I need to use an essential oil, because often a little bit of that's all you need, that little gentle medicine, especially with the little people and the animals. I have cats that I use hydrosols on my kitties. Even I have a boy, his name's Karate, great big black and white cat, and he goes outside, he comes in and he's filthy. So I brush him and brush him and brush him, and when he's done, I just spray him with a rose geranium hydrosol, and he kind of puts his head up and sniffs around, and I comb him, and then he kind of smells pretty. So you can use hydrosols in so many ways. And then of course there's for the things for the mouth, for the mucous membranes, all the delicate areas where essential oils are really not supposed to go. I think that is why people are understanding now their true value. They really are remarkable.
Right. Do you have a name for your still that's in the background?
I sure do. That's Baby. All of our stills have names, and we always encourage the people who buy the stills from James to name them, because
absolutely
remarkable. You do get a relationship with your still.
Absolutely.
And you can have 10 stills, and they will all have their own personality. Some will get hotter. You may have 2 identical stills, but one acts differently than the other. They're handmade. So it's not, they're not mass produced.
Yeah. What are you working on right now that's got you really excited?
2 things. One is the Aromatherapist certification program online, which is really going to be what I taught live in the classroom for 12 years, put into an online format with a live component. I'm excited about that because it's transformational for people. Anyone who takes an aromatherapy certification program that is good. Mine's been approved by NAHA, will be by AIA. That's one of my goals. And it's transformational, and it's something that I really know so well that it's a pleasure to teach. And I've got another program up my sleeve that I hope to launch in the fall. Beautiful. It has to do with hydrosols, something big. So.
Awesome. So everybody be on the lookout for that. And where would they look? Where would they go to find all of this information?
AromaticWisdomInstitute.com.
Beautiful. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that. That's so exciting. In your professional opinion, where do you see aromatherapy heading in the future? Because you're in the teaching arena. Mm-hmm. You're leading where aromatherapy is going. So what's your vision?
Oh dear, am I leading?
You are, because you're a teacher. Even if you're not like that visionary, you're teaching, you're bringing up the next generation of aromatherapists. So
I can tell
where are we going?
Well, based on history, I've been doing this for 32 years. when I started, it was what's an essential oil? Oh, this bottle of perfume. Can I do aromatherapy with this? And now we are testing to see the components, to test for pesticides. And we've got, empirical evidence, scientific research. So it's come a long way. It's only going to become more mainstream. No, we're not there yet. It'll be a few more years, but it's being taken more seriously and as a credible healing modality, and not just the woo-woo candles at the mall. There are just a number of modalities that started out as just sort of snake oil medicine that have become a lot more mainstream. And I just think that aromatherapy is going to go that way. I think we've come a long way with just the name aromatherapy is already being taken more seriously. I think people now realize it's a true healing modality.
And what is one aromatherapy concept that you think people struggle to understand?
Wow. Just one?
Just one.
I don't know that it's a struggle, but it's definitely something that people are mistaken about. And one is that there are only so many growers and distillers and distributors in the planet. No one has the best. No one supplier, no one company, and I mean this even for the best companies, they don't have all the best oils, and everyone else's are not the best. You may carry a supplier that gives the best, maybe they're from South Africa, they distill the best sweet orange. However, maybe your lemongrass is not so great. Nobody can say we have the best oils. People become very black and white about what's the best. And I think there's just so many degrees of gray in that term. So that's one thing. And that actually is more of a newbie mentality, people who are just getting into it and they become very attached to a brand and they think that it's the best. The other thing is usage, dosage, dilution, using them neat and drinking them. To sum up the second thing I just said, safety.
Right.
I think people really don't understand that there can be some real hazards using the phenolic oils, the aldehyde rich oils, if you're drinking them and just putting them all over your skin and the baby's gums and so forth. So I would say the quality, who has the best, and the safety of using essential oils. The other thing might be sustainability. People just act like they're going to last forever. We're losing plants. I read somewhere that somebody said using frankincense on their tires of their car. I was appalled. Mother Teresa always said, I would never march against war, but I would march for peace. So I try to be proactive in what I want, proactive in how it should be. That's all I can do is just say what I believe.
Well, we don't know what we don't know until we know better. And when I know better, I can do better. Right. And how am I going to know better? By listening to people who tell me what is right.
That's exactly right. Yeah. An experience I've had as a teacher is when my certification students graduate and they now have a firm understanding about the safety because they understand the chemistry, all of a sudden they get on their soapboxes. They want to suddenly change the whole world. They want to get out there and proselytize and tell everyone. And I tell them, don't. You're going to exhaust yourself. Don't be the essential oil police. Just do what you know is right. And hopefully enough people will follow. My parents gave this to me when I was a little girl, and I've always had it. And it wasn't until one day I understood why I had it. So there's a famous story called The 100th Monkey. There are different versions. This is mine. So there's an island with monkeys. They dig up the yams and they eat the yams dirty. One day, one of the monkeys goes down to the beach and washes the yam and eats it clean. And the other monkeys are looking around, what the heck's he doing? Well, the next day, another monkey goes down. Now there are two of them washing their yams, eating it clean. When it got to the 100th monkey washing the yams, eating it clean, monkeys all around the planet were doing the same thing. There's a global consciousness. So if you do what's right, there's an energy in that. There's a power in that.
That's awesome.
Interesting. My mom gave me that. My parents gave me that when I was a kid. Now I feel as though this is kind of an important symbol.
It is. Absolutely. So were those your final inspiring words for us, or is there more?
I had a quote ready, so now you're going to get it because I was prepared.
I'm ready for it. Bring it on.
I think I've already said it, and it's what I live by. When the student is ready, the teacher appears, and the teacher can also be students. I learn all the time from my students. Be humble enough to admit I don't know everything. Be humble enough to know I'm willing to learn more. So when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Oh, that's beautiful, Liz. Thank you so much.
Oh, this was fun. I could only talk for another couple of hours and then I have to go.
Yeah,
and I want you on my podcast. I'm committing here on the air that I would like to have you on my podcast, because then people will okay, we'll do that. Exactly.
Thank you so much.
This was a lot of fun. You're a wonderful host. You're a great interviewer. It is a gift that not everyone has. You do a beautiful job. And I love that you're consistent with your podcast.
Thank you. That was veteran podcaster and aromatherapist Liz Fulcher of the Aromatic Wisdom Institute. I know I've said it before, but it bears repeating. I am so blessed to be a member of this aromatic community, chock full of amazing people. I loved her story of the 100th monkey and the wisdom that it holds. What if, just what if we all show up and do what is good? That energy will be like a goodness virus that would infect others, and soon everyone would be doing what is good in the world. It was so great to laugh with Liz as she shared her wonderful aromatic journey. And like I said earlier in our chat, I remember finding her podcast when I was in school at the American College of Healthcare Sciences for my aromatherapy certification. Her podcast was the only one out there simply educating, while, as she said, many of the others existed to sell their products. Needless to say, hers was the only one I listened to. I'm so glad you joined me today to hear from Liz. Be sure to check out the show notes for all of the links mentioned in today's episode. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Aromatic Chat is produced by Lemon Balm Coaching. Lemon Balm Coaching offers personalized transformational coaching to one-on-one clients and also success coaching for aromatherapy students. If you find that you're ready to be one of the monkeys that Liz told us about, that's washing and eating the clean yam, leading the rest of the monkeys, but you're not sure how to get to the beach, you'll want to connect with me, your transformational life coach and registered aromatherapist, on the web at lemonbalmcoaching.com. I will see you next time with our next episode. Until then, peace, love, and aromatics.